Hi guys, this is Robert Rivera with Trend Trading Academy, and this is weekly recap number 60. And some of you are going to say, "What? Number 60? Where are the other 59?" That's because I haven't done one since August of last year. Since I moved into the new house, I have not done one. And so, but I'm traveling at the moment, and I figured let me make use of it. And because I want to emphasize once again the zones. I'm not gonna go through how to create them, but I want to go through. Basically, I want to review the trades of the week, so you guys can see the power of the zones, how price related to the zones, and gain more confidence in taking the setups. One of the things that I want to emphasize is you don't want to, and hopefully you guys can see my mouse. You don't want to trade anything in between the zone. We have a lot of new people, and basically, I'm going to try to break all of this down so you guys can understand. So basically, after creating the zone, right? I found the golden zone. The golden zone is from this move here to not this wick, right? Because that's not the lowest closing candle. This is the lowest closing candle. So from this wick to that candle right there, that's the golden zone. And also have a high probability supply because when price left this area, it left the gap. You can see the gap right in here where candle number 3 did not meet with candle number 1. And so the anticipation is that once price reaches this area, it's going to reject if it actually reaches all the way up there. Okay, now let's see what happened. This is a beautiful consolidation. This is very nice. This is a nice little setup. Oh, and also I sent this one instead of GBP USD or GBP JPY or even Euro AUD or Euro USD because all of the other ones didn't have this consolidation. This consolidation was very clean, very very clear, and to me it was an easy way to make money. Okay, so this is what happened the following day. This is the breakout. Breakout went exactly to the 61.8. So again, notice how everything that is in the setup came into play. Okay, we have the zones, we have the golden zone, we have the high probability supply. Price breaks out of the zone, hits the 61.8 of the golden zone, rejects, comes in for a retest, beautiful retest, a couple pips drawdown if you depending on where you entered, but this whole entire zone was only 3 pips, only 3 pips. So from the moment that it came here, basically a total of 5 pips, and then it rejected and went all the way up to the supply, which you also could have caught the sell of the supply up here, because you could have anticipated that this was going to reject, and once it broke down below this candle, it's time to go in, and it would have taken you well all the way down to here, 53 pip supply rejection. So that was a 59 pip breakout with a retest, 2 pip drawdown, and 53 pips on the supply rejection. I didn't even add. I usually add. Let me go ahead and write this down while we're talking. Add the pips and the drawdown and all that. So that's 59, 53, and 2 pip drawdown. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. This is the next day. I wanted to continue to play with GBP Canada because it had already given us a good trade the day before, and usually there's a good continuation on the following day. And so now we have price trapped in here. If you notice how price was acting above, how price was acting below the zone, now we have it trapped in here. You may have a question as to how I came to these zones. Again, I encourage everybody to go study videos 10, 11, and 12 of the beginner section, which discusses this, and also Jay's day trading confirmation checklist, which goes over how to create the zones. And this takes practice, but once you have this down, man, you can have a lot of confidence in what you're doing with your trading setups. Okay, so this is the setup. We take notice of a high probability demand down here. And so basically, something to notice, if price breaks through here, I'm expecting a rejection here at the high probability demand. And if it rejects from here, I am no longer anticipating a retest at the zone. Okay. First of all, way too close. We're way too close. And usually, from a demand, there's going to be a strong move. In this case, a strong move up. Look at how strong this move was up. So even if it goes only halfway, this move up is going to break through the what would have been the retest. Okay, so let's go. These are the results. What happened here? Oh, it broke through. Okay, it broke through the demand area. Well, first of all, it broke. It didn't retest. Okay, and then it went just below the demand area and bounced up. So there was no retest here, and if you went in for the retest, you would have lost. I mean, I went all the way down to the 5 minute on this setup, and basically there was no entry. But again, because I've been talking about limit orders, let's just assume we took a loss here. Okay, so that was the total of this area was 5 pips. Let's give it another 5 pips to make it 10 pip loss. Okay, if you took that loss, but when it left from here, and this is the 30 minute, so on the 15 minute, it left the demand area. Okay, and now you wait for price to come back inside, come back down, broke out again. Again, it bounces from the demand area. I'm not expecting a retest here. In fact, I'm expecting it to break through, and sure enough, that's what it did for a 42 pip. So that's 64 pip breakout and a 42 pip demand area bounce with a 10 pip loss. Okay, and a 2 pip drawdown so far. Let's go to the next day. This is GBP USD, beautiful consolidation. This is a consolidation that we like to see on setups. And look again how price was acting below. I don't have the big scheme picture because I like to concentrate on what's going on right in front where price is now. But we do notice there's a highest probably demand here. Again, this is the 30 minutes on the 15 minute. This is the demand zone on the 15 minute. And then we have a golden zone, which is this move from here to here. We don't really have a retracement below the 23.6. But if it's going to retrace, this is where the golden zone would be. Okay, so this is what we ended up with. It broke through, it broke, and when it broke, it created a supply. This is another reason why I've been teaching the supply and demand areas, because as price develops, other things are happening on the chart that we need to take notice of so that we can be ready for what price is going to do now. And so once price creates this supply and it breaks out, I'm no longer looking here. I mean, I could perhaps take this retest right here, right? Because it went right to the line. But my stop loss has to go up here. Until these wicks are created, my stop loss has to go up here. And so again, it came in, it broke out, it retested. And this is a 9 pip drawdown because again, the entire zone here is all of 3 pips. So it went up another 6 pips up, and it rejected for 56 pips. Beautiful win with a 9 pip drawdown. Okay, I'm keeping these over here so I can add them at the end. All right, let's go to the next day. That was a beautiful, easy trade. Okay, and then what I'm expecting when it comes down here is that it's going to bounce. All right, but I don't think it got there that day. All right, let's go to the next day. This is also GBP USD. Beautiful consolidation. You see how price rejected from the bottom, price rejected at the top over here, then it broke above and held above for just a minute. Now it's back inside the zone. We take notice of the high probability demand here. Again, if price bounces from demand, I'm no longer expecting a retest here. I could get a retest, but I'm not expecting a retest because again, it's more likely that I'm going to have some sort of move like this, at least a halfway move over here that may touch the top zone. Okay, but we do have the trend line here just in case it does break through. And these are the results of the next day. So sure enough, look at that. It broke down below. The breakout was 26 pips, which is good for the breakout trader, but then it bounced exactly at demand. Once it bounced at demand, your entry would be the break of that wick right there, and it goes above. It confirms that it's going up by retesting the zone again, and then it takes off for 55 pip demand move. And no drawdown on either one of these, right? Once it broke above the candle, it never came back down. Nice. Okay, going to the next day. This is the final trade of the day, of the week. Again, a nice little consolidation right in here. We see the trend is still moving down, right? Even though price move up, it's how can I say? If you take a look at the previous trend line, it was considering this wick right here because that's the low of this touch. Okay, but now that it created a higher high than this one, we have to adjust the trend line, but it is still on a downward movement. As you can tell, these wicks equal this, but it didn't break it. So we're still going down, okay? This is a lower high, lower high, lower high. We are going down, downtown, okay? And if it breaks to the top side, we have the trend line. And a golden zone here just in case for a nice little rejection here perhaps to take it to the downside. And so this is what we ended up with. Uh, okay, look at that. Beautiful thing. It came back to the golden zone, rejected, nice little fake out, right? And never did close. If you take a look at it, it never did close above the zone. So there was no entry to the top side. This is the importance of waiting on price to show you what it's going to do. Remember that we don't do anything here in the middle. We're waiting for price to reach this level or this level, okay? So price faked out the top, and when it did, it created a supply so that if it comes back, we know what to do with it, okay? Then it touches the bottom. This is the first attempt at breakout. It doesn't break out. This is beautiful because I was watching it. I took this sell from here, and so I never took, I was in bed already by the time that this pulled back to break down. But again, beautiful. It comes down, first attempt at breakout, doesn't, pulls back, breakout, retest, drop, okay? And this retest had a 5-pip drawdown, okay, 5-pip drawdown with 147 pip potential profit. Obviously, we're not necessarily going to catch all of these, but when you have something like this that doesn't stop, right? This drop, stop here for a minute and never pulls back, okay? Drops, it pulls back just a little bit, never breaks that high. Drops, pulls back a little bit. Look at that. That's a fib move right there, right? That's a 50% move from this move down and breaks down again. That's just a beautiful continuation. And so, what did we end up with? We ended up with one loser of 10 pips, okay? We have a total of, oh my gosh, let me see, 12, 16, 18, 24, 30, 35, 42 to carry the 4. That's 10, 19, 25, 29, 34, 36, 37, 41, carry the 4, 512 pips, potential wins, with a total of 19 pip drawdown. Dude, okay? Dude. So, potentially, right, we took a loss if we were doing limit orders. And potentially, we won 512 pips with only 19 pips drawdown. Okay, you only need to see this so many times to recognize you got something. And also, something that you should recognize is it's worth waiting for price to come to the zone before doing anything. It's worth waiting. Heck, it's worth waiting for the breakout, which is practically what I did all week. Now, all week, I did not only take the breakout, but I was waiting for the breakout. When I saw other moves that were happening that I noticed, for example, that it was going to break out, I took the breakout. But if I don't have a clear indication that it is going to break out, I'll wait for the breakout to happen, and then I'll play it depending on what happens now. Does it create a supply when it comes back up? Is it going to more easily reject because there's a supply there? Or does it create a demand at the bottom and now it's not likely, or create a demand, there's a demand at the bottom, it's not likely anymore to be a retest, but more like a continuation to the upside. So anyway, I'm just making this whole thing brief so that you guys can enjoy it. This is just a review of the week's trades, and I'm not going to do a forward moving review. Some maybe in the future I'll do so, but for the sake of brevity, I'm going to close it right now. And I hope that you guys have a blessed weekend, and that you spend some of the time reviewing, back testing, and getting your skill even better. Love you guys. Again, Robert Rivera with Trend Trading Academy. God bless you. Bye-bye.